Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of Home in Motion. Before we get started today, I feel like we need to take a second to vent and talk about what our weekend has looked like before recording this podcast.
Yeah.
So, not only was the Super Bowl this past weekend where we were trying to get at least Olivia.
It's just yesterday, lady.
Okay, just yesterday, but it's still part of the weekend. Excited about watching the game because I feel like ever since we moved out here, we're not really as like avid football watchers, at least like sitting down on Sundays and watching football compared to how we were in North Carolina.
Yeah. Well, did you realize when we first moved out here, literally the first year we moved out here, the Carolina Panthers were in the Super Bowl for Super Bowl 50. Same exact year we moved here.
I don't even remember that. It feels
anyway.
like ages ago.
Yeah.
And now they're not anything close to that. But.
Man, Cam Newton's not playing anymore, so. But anyways, yeah.
So we're trying to get Olivia excited to watch the football. And then not only that, Noah started getting sick.
Oh, yeah.
And then trying to like entertain Olivia over the weekend, you had bought her these like fake nails. And she's like been begging me to put them on. And I finally am like, okay, I'm going to sit down and do this. And it's got actual nail glue. And it just squirts everywhere and gets on my face and on her clothes and everything. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, like it felt like a little bit got in my eyes. And that's why I called you to come and help me in the bathroom, because I like thought I was really going to have to like flush my eyes out.
Whose fault is that, first of all? You should never cut anything that close to your face with glue in it.
It was on the kitchen table.
Right. Lynn, even like, for instance, when I was fixing the wall that y'all broke from ripping down the towel bar, when I have to cut the this little putty stuff, I don't have that close to my face at all, ever. Because I know what can happen when it's under pressure. And I always check it. So that's your fault for not checking to see how much pressure was built up in that thing.
Oh, well, that's true. But I thought it was just going to be like craft glue or like super glue where you cut it and it's like not really that much pressure.
Did you read the box?
No.
Oh, don't stop blaming me.
No,
don't
because
blame me.
You know why? Because
me.
It got thrown in the trash between you buying Olivia the nails because she couldn't wait to take them out the box. So I did not have the box to reference because she'd already tossed it and they were all in like a little container.
Well, the glue had words on it, right?
I don't know. I read the instructions, but not the warnings. So
okay, anyway, let's go, little lady.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking of Olivia. I'm about to call you little lady.
That has been our weekend up to recording the podcast, which I feel like is going to be more relaxing than anything we did all weekend.
Yeah. God, that little boy, when he's sick, good God.
Yeah, it's just been constant. And then she's been out of school because that's a whole nother thing we could talk about is California and teacher work days or holidays, because she was off today for Lincoln's birthday.
Yeah.
Which I think
we've never had that holiday off in North Carolina. No. Ever. Now, I don't know if it's changed because I've been out of school for 20 years, but I'm just aged myself.
But when we were in school, that was not a celebrated holiday.
No.
And we literally have President's Day next week.
Yeah.
So the two of them together, it's just been high energy because she's been cooped up and him just like being a toddler when they're sick.
How long have you been out of high school?
I'm 35.
Yeah.
So 17 years.
Jeez.
Whatever.
I've been 20 years.
Testing my math at like 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, anyway. All right, go.
So the episode where we went and explored for this episode of the podcast is Kenwood, California. And I was trying to find words to best describe it. And I saw this article that talked about it being decidedly rural, which I feel like really captures the essence of Kenwood and why we like going there, because it really is wineries and hiking, like outdoor stuff together in the wineries. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, especially with what we're trying to do as a family.
Mm-hmm.
So the first place that we went to was Sugarloaf Ridge State Park. And I'd say this is probably one of our favorite state parks just because of everything we've been able to do there.
What have we been able to do there? I know we've been there twice, right?
3 times.
3 times. Oh.
Because we've done this, I'll talk about it later, but we've done the star party there.
Oh.
When we went and looked at the telescopes.
It's the same place?
Yes, the same place.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So this was our 3rd time there. But before we get there, we have to talk about why we wanted to go there and explain the weather in California this time of year. So it's completely opposite of what you learn in school of like the spring showers bring Mayflowers, because we do not get rain in the actual spring.
Well, to make sense of that, that's what we learn on the East Coast, like North Carolina in particular.
Yep.
I would say North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, where else? Places like that, you probably learn something like that, because that's how the temperature and climates work.
And like the seasons. And
seasons, everything. Yeah.
But here, like around Thanksgiving, like early December, all the way through like February till now, we just this is our rainy season.
When we do have rain, this is our rainy season.
Yeah, and it cycles. So there's this thing out here called El Nino, which I was reading the history about it when I was looking for the podcast. And in Spanish, it means little boy, but it's got that name because the fishermen down in South America in like the 1600s realized that the water was warmer right around Christmas time, which matches with when we get that. And that's exactly what El Nino is the water comes up from the equator, and then we get this warmer water temperatures, which for us ends up as rain. And then up in like Tahoe and stuff, then it ends up being snow. Mm-hmm. And it cycles every like 2 to 7 years. It varies, because I feel like it wasn't as often when we first moved out here, but then we've had them like closer together in the past couple years.
I guess. I don't know.
Does
El Nino bring rain?
Yes, because of the like warmer water temperatures is how like I don't know the full science part of it, but that's what Dr. Google told me. But that's why we get it right in the winter time frame, which I feel like at least for kids, like I always have to buy their rain boots and stuff on Amazon, because it's like at Target, the big box stores, like they don't have spring rain boots yet, because it's just not that time. And then it's normally like everybody trying to buy out all the umbrellas when they realize it's going to rain.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we pay attention enough to the weather to, I guess, get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every time you want to go out to one of those big box stores and buy it, it's all sold out. Yeah. Because we were never ahead of it, like paying attention to the news.
Yeah, and I feel like you just never know, because like you said, it's not every winter that we get this big rain, so then it's like kind of hit and miss.
It's very sporadic. Yeah. We'll go a couple of years without having much rain.
Yeah.
So
anyways, but we have a big rainy season this year, so that's why to go here, I picked it because of the waterfall and being able, that's one of the benefits of when we do get a lot of rain, going on these hikes where we can see the waterfalls, because they're like more gushing and more exciting because they're flowing faster. So that's why we did this hike. And the trail that we took was the Lower Canyon Trail, which, like you said, we've gone to Sugarloaf before. And when we did this with Olivia, when she was maybe a little bit older than Noah, it maybe younger, or same age. I don't remember.
You just got really high pitch, and that hurt my ears.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was trying to remember. I can't remember when we took her, but it was similar time because it was raining and we wanted to see the waterfall. And we took the Upper Canyon Trail, which goes from the visitor center, and you like go down steps right away. Mm-hmm. And I just remember, I don't know if I wasn't paying close enough attention, or it was really slip.
Yeah,
and I completely fell with a toddler going down steep steps. So we did not take that trail this time. And the Lower Canyon Trail that we did take is only like half a mile round trip. And there were still steps to go down, but it was not as steep as I remember the other trail being. Yeah. And it was more manageable, like with the terrain, because we haven't really like taken Noah on like a hike like along like multiple miles.
No, he can't. He wouldn't be able to handle that. just because, I don't know, I don't know how to explain.
He would get distracted. He wants to like stop and pick up the grass, and we would be out there for forever if we.
Yeah, he doesn't care anything about us. If he see things, he's just like, oh, let me go sit in the grass and go do this. He's definitely a loner, and he's like wants to do his own thing.
Yeah. So this was nice because it was like just short enough, but like with the creek and everything and the waterfall, like it was enough to keep his attention because like there was enough stuff. There was trees. He definitely picked up sticks while we were walking.
Oh yeah.
And there was bridges and everything too. So I felt like this was a nice, like manageable hike. And then when we did get up to the waterfall, after kind of meandering through the woods, then there were a bunch of rocks and stuff for Olivia to climb on. So it was a good, like, it had stuff for both ages because it was easy enough for Noah, but Olivia could like run around and climb on stuff and be happy.
Yeah, well, it was easy for Olivia, but it's not toddler friendly unless you have a very advanced toddler. Like, I mean, our son, he's advanced when it comes to motor skills, but he's not at that level.
Yeah, not to be climbing on stuff the same way.
So like you would have to have a really advanced toddler to be able to do that without worrying. So it'd probably be something you would want a backpack, like what do they call whatever those things are.
A little leash.
No, well they have them on their back, and you can hike with the child on your back.
Oh yeah, the carrier.
Yeah, one of the carriers. That would probably be more suitable if you have a child that's like 2 and under.
Yeah, I think so. And even for Noah, like I just held his hand the whole time. Like he was manageable with me holding his hand.
But. Oh yeah, if you want to hold your child's hand, then yeah, it's perfect. Because it's not a crazy trail at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the craziest part about it is just going down the steps. And then everything else is pretty like average.
Flat
trails, yeah.
I think that's really the only thing you have to worry about. I mean, if there's other toddlers like Noah, like I was more worried he was going to like do a beeline to the water because he likes the water. And that's why I held his hand the whole time.
Which part of the trail was that again?
The lower canyon.
Lower canyon? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, the lower canyon trail is probably the best if you want to go directly to the waterfall.
Yep. And that's the other thing we should talk about is the parking. We we got lucky. So the lower canyon trail we did was like side of the road parking. And what is the park ranger that like where we paid for our parking told us there's like 6 or 7 parking spots around that area, and you have to look for the ones that say like waterfall.
Yeah.
So we got pretty lucky.
There's a really small sign that says waterfall, whatever.
Parking or hike or whatever.
Well, it's the trail part. Yeah, waterfall trail this way.
Yep.
It's a real small sign though, but.
Yeah, so we got kind of lucky because it was definitely like there were people coming out there just like we were right after the rains.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you get a big rain, it's going to probably be impossible to park there. Most of the time, most people park at the entrance and walk all the way back, or they park further down and walk up. So it can be a bit of a hike.
And it was kind of weird because it was like not where the visitors, like you think of most hikes in state, like in parks like that, starting close around the visitor center. But this was like between the park entrance where you see the signs to come in and but where you pay at the visitor center and stuff. So it's like before you even got to that stuff. But they make it very clear on their website, like no parking on that road is free. Like you have to go like we did and pay for your parking up at the spot.
That's the key thing. And that's the hard part. Like especially if you don't do the research, you would think you can just park on the side for free. That is not a free state park you can park in. You have to go pay. Please go pay, or they'll probably have your stuff ticketed or something.
Yeah, before you make it back.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we talked about parking. We did, like, before we started, just because I knew we were going to be out and about, we fed the kids lunch before we left. But it's obviously a state park, so you wanted to, like, bring your lunch and enjoy it at a picnic table or whatever. I feel like people could do that, too. Just as long as the kids are full and happy before you start asking them to go walk around. The other thing that like is on my bucket list for us to go back is this planet walk. So we'll talk about the star parties and the observatory there, but it's this 5-mile hike that it definitely would be for older kids or if you have kids that can handle hiking that far. And it literally is, you start at the sun, and all the planets where they have the signs are hypothetically like based off of the real solar system and the space in between each planet. So it kind of, I think it's cool because it goes hand in hand with like the observatory part of the park.
Yeah. I just keep forgetting they have an observatory out there, and I don't know if I just said that right. I kind of remember now because where did we park? We kind of parked close to it, right?
It's kind of close to
Because
the
there's
visitor
multiple
center.
parking lots in that area.
And I think you go past the visitor center, and I remember it being one of the parking lots that we parked at, but for the star party.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. I mean, it was dark, so I feel like it's also hard to tell, like, daytime versus nighttime where we were relative. But it definitely is inside the park. The parking is $10, and like we were talking about, definitely pay. But really, that's it, like cost wise. So it's pretty economical.
And they also have camping there too.
Yeah, you can reserve
overnight camping, things like that. Yeah.
I think that's it at that one. It's mostly hiking. Like they don't have like fishing and stuff like that I
don't think so. I didn't see it. Well, we haven't really explored much. There may be a huge creek or lake somewhere in there. I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I was really disappointed that we didn't get to go to one of the star parties, because we've done it one time with Olivia when she was like 3 or 4, and she was at that time like, I don't know if they were learning about it in preschool, or she just was really into like solar system stuff at that point in time, and stars and like sparkle and those kind of things.
Yeah.
So that's when we did it originally. And when we were doing this weekend, was when they were supposed to have a star party. But literally right after we did the hike, we got like another big, huge batch of rainstorms. And obviously you can't go and stargaze when it's like pouring down rain.
Yeah.
And literally like 2 days after they were supposed to have the star party, and the whole park was closed. Like they actually are pretty, for what a state park, active on Instagram, and they literally posted on their Instagram like, we are doing a damage assessment after all this rain, like please do not come to the park. So that just gives you a sense of like how much rain it was, and it really wasn't suitable to be out there
because of all the trees and the roots and stuff that can be, because they pretty much all the soil here is kind of soft, right?
I think so.
For the most part. I mean, I don't know.
We've been getting like 2 weeks worth of rain. So if it wasn't soft to start, it definitely was soft by this time frame. So all the stuff was kind of at risk for coming down. But to give people a little bit of background, it's a conservatory, not an observatory. I kind of messed that word up. But the conservatory is run by the Valley of the Moon Observatory Association, and it's kind of cool. I never had realized this, but they're a bunch of volunteer, amateur, and professional astronomers that, just with a small amount of support staff, actually run this whole conservatory. So it's not like what you think of in like an academic setting where it's like these people that do this for a living and study astrology. They're like volunteer and they like to do it for fun, but they run the whole thing on their own. And they really want to have things accessible to obviously students and learners, but the public and our community. And they host the star parties, which they always have around the like new moon when you have a lot of things to look at. But they also do solar parties where it's like at 12 o'clock during the day, where you can come and look at the sun and use the telescopes to be able to take a look at that. And a lot of times they do that during the summer when the days are longer, so it's easier to kind of look at things. But definitely try and time your visit, because that's one of the other benefits, especially if we would have been able to do both, is with that $10 parking fee to get in. If we could have gone the same day, it just would have been the $10, and you get kind of 2 things out of it.
Because most of the state parks is you pay a fee for the entire day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be kind of cool to time your visit where you could do both. You do have to get tickets in advance, so it's like $15 for adults for the star parties and $5 for kids over 5, and then anybody under 5 is free. So it's not bad, especially when you can kind of consider everything. But again, we didn't really get a chance to enjoy it this time around. But it is the largest observatory in Northern California completely dedicated to the public. So because there's a lot of other ones in like Berkeley and Oakland. So we're kind of unique. But let's see. Anything else about Sugarloaf before we move on to the next thing?
No. That was the boring part.
Oh, whatever. Well, okay, it kind of was.
Well, the waterfall was nice.
Yeah, it was.
You just skipped over the waterfall. You just talked about the trail, and then we didn't even talk about the waterfall.
Because the waterfall is a waterfall. Like, that's enough said. Like, that's the whole reason we went out there was to see the beautiful waterfall, and it was. I don't know how to sit there and describe a waterfall other than it's a waterfall.
I mean, you can describe how it felt. I mean, not felt, but how it looked.
Well, I did. I talked about how much rain and it's like a gushing waterfall this time of year. The whole benefit.
Yeah. Okay, moving along.
All right. So after we spent all that energy hiking, then the winery I picked this time was VJB Cellars. And
the best winery we've been to so far.
And I feel like we have another winery in this area that we like that does something similar where it wasn't just the wine itself. So they really make it an experience. And I learned a little bit more about the history, so I'll share some of that too. But they have a pizza place, and then they had inside.
Oh, hey.
And it's like wood, what is it? Wood oven fire?
Wood fired?
Yeah, wood-fired pizza. And that was pretty good.
That place is amazing.
And then they had, like, inside where the wine tasting is, like, it was sandwiches and stuff that was over where you were at, right?
Yeah. Oh, they have everything. They have sodas. It's crazy how my memory just pops back, right? When I think about food.
That, like, it was great. We didn't go to another restaurant because we got the wine and the food.
That place is amazing. I don't give a damn about the wine. I'm sorry. I don't care about wine. That's your thing. So you're the wine connoisseur. Anyways, the food was amazing. Okay, continue.
We'll talk about it in more detail.
I'm sorry. I'm just getting a little ahead of myself.
They have the pizza, the little store with the sandwiches and all the other stuff. Then there's also a chocolate place. It's called the Wine Truffle Boutique. And then they have like we don't shop there, a Tommy Bahama, but I don't think we really saw it, but it's on the website. It's there.
What's Tommy Bahama?
It's like coastal summer wear. You'll recognize it.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's not anything that's our style.
Don't they have, they had an ice cream place, right?
That was in the truffle place. You didn't really see it because you were focused on the chocolates, but they get, they had a ice cream,
I saw that. Yeah. That little thing there.
The gelato. It's gelato. That they get delivered up from, here, I think I have it up. Let's see where she gets it from. I don't want to mess it up. The Latest Scoop out of Berkeley.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it really is a full experience because we not only had to got to enjoy the wine, and I feel like it's another one where the ambiance kind of makes it, because originally my plan was to do a tasting and then enjoy the pizza and do the other stuff, but we immediately walked in there and the tasting room had tabletop high bench level chairs, and we'd been out walking and both kids had eaten all the snacks I brought and were pretty hungry. Yeah. So we were like, screw it, we're just gonna go get a bottle of wine, scrap the tasting, and order our food. And I feel like that was actually a pretty good call that you made, because you were like, the kids are hungry. We cannot stay in this and expect them to behave and act like civilized human beings.
And plus Noah, he wanted to get out and run around. This is the perfect place for kids to be in. They're super kid friendly. Out of all the places we've gone to that say they're kid friendly, This place is super kid friendly.
Yeah, and I feel like it's nice too because like the area that we set out outside was contained. Like that's half our battle is like just not letting like them go crazy and like we can't find them. Like this was contained where we could still watch them.
Yeah, and then there were other families there with children, and I think their menu caters to almost everyone because they just don't have pizza. They have ribs, and they had beef ribs that was like a Korean style beef rib.
Yeah, that amazing. It was for sure like
absolutely
the best
amazing. What's the name of this place again?
It's VJB Cellars.
I'm recommending this place. Matter of fact, I want to go back next weekend because the ribs are amazing, and then you get fresh like Napoleon style pizza.
Yep.
Like traditional style pizza, which is amazing. Now the size of the pizzas they're not going to feed a whole family. They'll feed 2 people. But since we had ribs, it was a little different because, we had a little
like
bit more food.
Add more to
so, they don't give you a lot of pizza. You're going to probably need to order a couple of pizzas if it's more than 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
Well, I would say if it's 3 or 4 people, you probably need about 2 pizzas.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think we definitely, if we hadn't got the ribs, we could have easily ate 1 pizza on our own. But
yeah, you and Olivia could have ate 1 pizza on your own. Yeah. And I wouldn't have had anything. Yeah. But, I mean, the food there is amazing. And then their menu goes beyond just pizza and ribs, right?
Yeah, they have like grilled stuff too. Like I didn't look a ton into it, but there were like kebabs and let's see, I can pull up some.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's other options.
Yeah.
At there outside of just the pizza.
But the pizza's amazing and the barbecue ribs are amazing.
And since we're doing this and I have to talk about the wine, it ended up working out because we knew we were going to get pepperoni pizza in order to be able, because that's like, you can't go wrong with pepperoni pizza with Olivia, at least most of the time. So I got a bottle of Primitivo, which is what the guy that was in the tasting room had recommended. And to me, it was nice. And because we had a whole bottle, then I was able to just bring it home afterwards too and be able to have a couple more glasses while we were kind of sitting here and being able to relax at home. Let's see. Oh, the history. I completely forgot to talk about the history. So the parents are from Italy originally, and then they have...
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep interrupting. That explains why the pizza was so damn good.
And their wines are Italian varietals, so they are definitely Italian.
All right, I'm not going to interrupt you. Go ahead.
And they had 2 sons, but one son passed away. So like the brothers had decided they were going to go into making wine. And before they could bottle that first one, one of the sons, Victor, had passed away unexpectedly. And so then him and the other brother and the parents were like, oh, let's go like make sure we keep this other brother's passion alive. So that's where the VJB comes from, is Victor Joseph Belmonte, is kind of a tribute to the son. And then the mom, like you said, because they're from Italy, and she's actually has a chef background. And I don't know, like at the pizza place, how much she has a say-so in like putting that together. But they used to own an Italian restaurant in Santa Rosa before they got into making wine. So then that's kind of how they have a food background and are really passionate about making it an experience for people that come to visit there.
Well, listen, they left a mark on me. Like I said, I don't have chubby cheeks and a belly for nothing. That place, if you wanted to go there tomorrow, I'll say okay. If you want to go there every day, I'll say okay. I don't care how expensive the wine is. The food is just amazing. And I could tell that like somebody had a culinary background.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell. Because the ribs, I was like, when you tasted those ribs, you were like, I don't normally eat ribs, but I could eat this.
Yeah, and because I like, especially with beef ribs, like I'm not normally one to like want to eat that, and it was really good.
Well, most people are accustomed to pork ribs.
Yeah.
And they're a little smaller, but beef ribs are a little bigger.
It was definitely delicious, and I can say like that was probably one of the best choices we've made.
Yeah, for sure.
Olivia liked the pizza too. Like it wasn't like it was more for us than for her. But
yeah, oh yeah, the pizza was amazing and those ribs. Yeah.
And like you said, it was about $60 for us to get the pizza and the ribs. So it's not like horrible considering like it's fed 3 of us I feel like we didn't even eat dinner because we were so full, like after eating all that.
Yeah.
And then the bottle of wine was about $40, which isn't horrible for a bottle of wine, and I made it last. Then I have to say though, one thing that irritates me about you, so we got there at like 2:30 and they close at 4:00, like a lot of vineyards and wineries in this area. But you always rush us, and it drives me nuts because we finished eating our pizza around like maybe 3:30, and you're like, okay, we gotta go. They're trying to close down. We gotta go. And I'm like, it is not that much of a rush. Like sometimes I just wish you would relax a little bit and like not keep us to like, okay, we gotta go. We're on to the next thing.
Okay. Hold on. They were cleaning up around us. They were picking up the trash cans. So like, as a person back in the day that used to close at certain places, I understand when you want these MFers just to get up so you can finish what you got to do and you don't have to spend an extra 30 minutes to 45 minutes at the place that you're working at.
Yeah, but like there were clearly other families that got there before us.
No. Because they're buttholes, and you could hear them laughing about it. Oh, I guess we're breaking the rules. And I wanted to say, yes, you are, because they're trying to close, and you need to get up and stop being, I don't know, whatever. You see, you're getting me worked up.
Because I regardless
it's a jerk
of them,
move. In my opinion, it's a jerk move to stay there and hold people captive at work when they're trying, because the service is amazing. Yeah, I'm big on service, and the lady that took the order and all that stuff, she was amazing. I feel like you had a good experience with ordering the wine. The guy was very helpful. Yeah. The people that was outside were amazing. Yeah, they checked on us. They had conversations with us. Most people just check on you and see if you need something and don't want to even talk to you after that. They were amazing. They're very personable people. So it's like, don't be disrespectful to these people that have been good to you.
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
No, I'm not talking about you, but it made me mad with that group when they said that and they're laughing about it. And I'm like, man, get up.
Yeah.
Like, it is clearly almost 4:00. These people want to go home.
Right.
And they've given you amazing service. I know they have because they gave us amazing service.
Yeah. I get it. They were kind of like pushing the edge of like when it's acceptable to like recognize that they're closing.
Like, I want us to have a standard when we go out. We're going to be nice to everybody. We're going to leave when we're supposed to leave. I don't know. That's just how I am.
I know, but it leaves me feeling rushed sometimes when I
because you are a very slow eater and a slow drinker. Everyone will be done with their food ×2 by the time you finish once. And I'm like, man, if you don't hurry up.
I don't think it was that day because I felt like you were having to rush Olivia. Olivia, if she's not super hungry, then she will take longer than me. And we're like, okay, come on, Olivia. Like, they're really going to shut the doors.
Well, we allowed her to take her cell phone. That was probably the problem.
Yeah.
Because then her friend was calling her because I don't know what happened, but whatever. Yeah, her friend was calling her, and then all of a sudden she gets distracted and she doesn't want to eat anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, I had to say that because I did feel like for the other stuff we didn't really get to experience, but because you were like, okay, come on, like we gotta go, So we went after we ate the pizza, we went to the chocolate shop, the Wine Truffle Boutique. And here I feel like it was like 50-50. Like the service was great. The lady was super helpful that was working there. But as far as the chocolate, like you got coconut clusters, which I feel like you liked those. Yeah. But then they had all their like prep for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And she had these like Reese's cups or what was supposed to be Reese's cups. And it was like so much thick chocolate. Like it's not like a Reese's cup you get in the store where it's like soft and you like bite into it. This was like hard chocolate that you have to like chomp down into in order to be able to.
Yeah. I mean, but she did explain like, hey, come back in a few days or something. And because she didn't have milk chocolate, she only had dark chocolate things because I guess she sold out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a different style, I guess, but
yeah.
I tasted it. It tastes really, really good. It's just really thick chocolate.
Yeah. And that was the biggest thing was like trying to to eat it and not like make a mess. But
yeah.
And then Olivia got some random like, it's just like a bunch of gummy candies on a stick, but it made her happy because it was like a kebab, candy kebab. So a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of candy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. Anything else you can think about other than like we had a really good experience there?
No. I would go back and, I mean, I don't know. You do, I think you do get like the Italian vibe of that place a little bit. Because like, I can't remember. Is it like a brick? Is it cobblestone like style floor?
Yeah, and it's
out the
like
outside
some
area?
old house that they like made into that like cobblestoney.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I liked it. Like just the atmosphere, and then how like the pizza was made right in front of you, like
On the other side.
it was just a glass and a building, but it was nice. And then going inside was an experience on its own. Like it had a little shop in there with drinks, sodas, sparkling waters, sandwiches already wrapped up and pre-prepared. Ugh, I can't even talk. But yeah, I don't know. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel
It's a
like
nice
those
place.
are the things that we try and find in wine country, like that full experience where hypothetically we could have had plenty of time to sit there and relax if we would have started our hike before lunchtime. So you could definitely make a full day out of it, of just like hiking and then relaxing there and not feeling any time pressure to be able to enjoy the space.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me like of was it Corbell that we went to that had like a little cafeteria style area to where you could sit down? What was that place that we took your dad?
Oh, Corbell is where we took my dad, but I think we also took him over to Visa Tui, is what you're thinking about, like where we went this past Mother's Day, where they have the food trucks on the weekend and we sit outside, or are you thinking
No,
the
'cause
deli?
They had a deli. That's what I'm thinking.
That was probably Corbell then.
Yeah.
But
It kind of reminded me of that a little bit just because of the place you go in and get food and stuff.
yeah. Well, and that's what we were really looking for with kids, like where we can kind of take our own pace.
Yeah.
But I feel like we always enjoy Kenwood and going back there. So I feel like definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah.